Hello, it's So from TVH Studying, and I'm here to do my halfway check-in for my stationery no-buy. If you haven't watched my original video about it, basically I decided to go on a stationery no-buy because I felt like I was encouraging a very capitalistic mindset on YouTube and on my social media by accumulating so much stationery, and I wanted to give my current collection some more love instead of constantly focusing on buying more. And this way I hope to improve my financial habits and reevaluate the way I spend my discretionary income and how I accumulate or collect things, so to speak. If you want a more in-depth breakdown and some stationery statistics about my original collection, I'll link the original video in case you're interested in that, but that's the gist of things. So far, the only stationery purchase I've made for the past 6 months in 2021 is a composition notebook and 2.7 gel pens. And I bought them from my campus store because I needed a lab notebook and I needed lab pens. So I work in a neurotoxicology lab in the biology department, and we work with a lot of toxins like dieldrin or picotoxin, and it would be really dangerous if I accidentally contaminated my own personal pens and then brought them back to my dorm because, don't mess around with toxins, that's bad. So the total cost of my purchase was $8.99, and considering the need for the purchase and because it wasn't too expensive, I think it was fairly rational, but that's the amount of money I've spent so far this year. Statistics-wise, I used up 17% of my original collection, and I have 82% left to go. The majority of the stationery that I went through were stickers, like a lot of sticker sheets, followed by black pens, particularly black gel pens. I also went through the majority of my collection back in January, I think, before I came to college, and I decluttered a lot of markers and pens that were dried out and essentially unusable. I don't have the original pile of stationery empties that I have with me because I forgot about my no-buy and I recycled all of my empties when I was moving out of my previous dorm, but I do have some empty sticker sheets, so this is a sign of my progress, I guess, but I promise I had a bunch, and most of them were just black pens. I've used up 10 black pens in the past month, as well as 3 notebooks, 3 memo pads, 2 sticky notes, and 4 brush pens. So overall, pretty decent work. And just to sort of reflect on my no-buy, I feel like I haven't been affected as much. So some steps I took to curb my spending habits and my desire to buy all the things because I'm a maximalist consumer was to unsubscribe from all the email updates and newsletters I got from my favorite stationery shops. And at my moments of weakness, I would unfollow my favorite sticker shops on Instagram when I felt particularly tempted by them. I think the first 2 months was probably the worst in terms of wanting to buy things but not being able to buy them. But after that, I sort of accepted the fact that I couldn't buy anything, and so I just stopped looking at sales and I stopped checking shop updates, and I made it through all the major holidays so far without purchasing anything during the sales. Did I save more money from this experience so far? Honestly, I can't say because I didn't track how much money I would have originally spent if I actually purchased stationery. And throughout the past 6 months, it's not like I haven't used my discretionary income at all. I've definitely bought some unnecessary things like makeup, I've ordered takeout, and I've also spent $15 worth of Primogems on Genshin Impact, which, by the way, I'm low-key ashamed of spending money on a gacha game like Genshin Impact. But I stooped very, very low for Eula. That's all I'm gonna say. I really wanted her and I didn't get her, but oh well. Yeah, I will agree that this no-buy has made me reevaluate sales and the way I spend money on things. So I'm considering going on a no-buy for other aspects of my life, like makeup and video game related things, like Primogems for Genshin Impact. just so that I could have more money to spend on things that I genuinely need, like MCAT prep materials and AMCAS fees, school tuition, insurance, etc., etc., etc. And my no buy has also made me reevaluate marketing strategies, such as you need this, or this is gonna change your life, or this is the best pen or the best brush pen you're ever gonna have in your entire life. I find that I fall very easily for ad campaigns, whether they be like the email newsletters or sponsored posts on Instagram or YouTube. And I say this as a person who's done sponsorships before. I know some of the things that go on behind the scenes, and I know that people are being paid to shill this product to me, but I still have a tendency to fall for strategies like that, especially when the packaging is pretty and when the advertising is pretty and aesthetic and the photo is beautiful. It's tough being a consumer out there. And again, it's made me reevaluate how easily I fall for marketing tactics. And I also realized how slowly I go through certain items compared to how quickly I go through other items. For example, I go through black pens like nothing else. During my first semester of college, I think I used up around 20 to 30 black pens in one go because I was actively taking lecture notes with pen. And now that I've transitioned to taking digital notes, I don't use pens as frequently, but still I like chugged through black pens like nothing else. However, I go through highlighters so very slowly, but I tend to buy the same kind of gel pen over and over. I'm quite loyal to the kind of gel pens that I like, but I always want to try out all the new pastel highlighters that come out on the market, regardless of how many that I currently have. And I typically justify these purchases by saying, oh, I can try this out for YouTube, I can review this for Instagram, but it still doesn't defeat or override the fact that I go through them so slowly, and I really don't need to be buying so many. And so it taught me a lesson about how I should buy less of the items that I use more slowly and focus on thoroughly using and loving the ones that I currently have. I also realized I have this kind of scarcity mentality when it comes to stickers as well, because once you use a sticker, you can't re-stick it and use it again. It's stuck there. But another thing that this no buy has taught me, that if I leave something for long enough, it will go bad or expire. And I know for things like stickers, it doesn't seem like they will expire, but I tried using some stickers that I bought when I was in middle school or something like that, and the sticker glue was all odd and balled up and it didn't really stick to surfaces very well. So that was a complete waste of the stickers that I bought when I was 14. I guess that's something good about my no buy. Essentially, I'm realizing that my collection is there to be used, not as a collection to just look at and admire. And I know that for some people who have collections or have a hobby of collecting things, just looking at them might bring you satisfaction. But for me, I feel like my money is going to a better use, and I feel like I'm getting more satisfaction out of my stationery collection if I actually use and love the things that I have in my drawers. And to wrap it all up, I just want to emphasize that I know that this is a first world problem. Some of the comments from my original video that I made were about how privileged I was and how they would be so excited and grateful to have the amount of stationery that I have, and how I waste my money on unessential things. But I just want to acknowledge that people have different budgets and different amounts of money, and I'm not going to judge other people for how they spend their money and how they organize their own budget, but I do want to take a step back and reevaluate the way that I spend my own money. I'm just posting about this publicly so that other people could potentially have the opportunity to think about their stationery collections and to think about their financial habits from another viewpoint, and to hopefully inspire someone else to do the same. And I'm not trying to do this to rub my money in your guys' faces or rub the amount of stationery that I have into your face. I'm doing this so that I can improve my financial habits and sort of give my current collection a lot of love that I haven't as much in the past. And another thing that I also wanted to comment is that a vast majority of my stationery does come from PR. As a YouTuber, I do get sent things for free, and although I really appreciate that companies send me these nice pens for free, I don't just want them to sit in my drawers and go to waste by just sitting there. So hopefully that clarifies things on like the no buy stationery collection end. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know down in the comments if you also participated in the no buy like I asked you to in the first video. If you didn't, it's okay, but like I hope you did it. And let me know how it's going for you. So I hope this helped, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!